السلام عليكم أخوتي الكرام وأخواتي الكريمات ورحمة الله وبركاته. هذه المحاضرة هي المحاضرة الثانية. المحاضرة الأولى كانت هم صادفت فيها عاصفة ثلجية، فالظاهر أنا كل ما أسوي محاضرة تصير بها عاصفة. فالمحاضرة الأولى بالبداية راح أنطي بس مختصر عن الأمور اللي تكلمت عليها بالسابق، وهذه باعتبار التكملة مع المحاضرة الأولى. بالمحاضرة بالبداية خلي أنطي بس النقاط المهمة من المحاضرة القديمة حتى نقدر نتواصل ويا نفس الأفكار. يعني راح أتكلم أول مرة بالعربي للأكثر شيء للآباء. يعني شلون هي الفكرة، أنه أكو 6 أشياء لازم نعلمها لأبنائنا بأقرب فرصة ممكنة. هذه الأشياء ال6، هو طبعا أكو أكثر من 6 أشياء، لكن هذه الأشياء ال6 جدا مهمة، وإذا حاولنا أن نوصلها للأولاد أنا يعني اطمئنان كبير أنه هذه ممكن تغير حياتك، يعني تخليك the best version of yourself. الأشياء ال6 اللي أريد أحكي عنها هي أولاً شغلة تتعلق بالأفكار. So something related to your thoughts. Second، الشغلة الثانية هي للتصرفات. هنا 6. قلنا أول شيء الأفكار، ثاني شيء شغلة تتعلق بالتصرفات، الثالثة هو شلون تسيطر على هاي التصرفات، والرابعة هو أن كيف تتعامل مع المشكلة. احنا كنا تصير عندنا مشاكل، لكن لازم نعرف شلون نتعامل ويا كل مشكلة. والخامسة انه شلون نتقبل وشلون acceptance، يعني شلون نرضى بالامور. والسادسة هو كيف نضع خطة للمستقبل. هذا اكثر شيء هي النية مالتها انه لفائدة الشباب وبأقرب فرصة ممكنة. بالنسبة للمحاضرة السابقة كانت 5 خطوات لتربية الأطفال. وأول شيء أن تتعرف على ابنك. second، أنه أن تحترم الطفل وتعلم شلون يحترمك قبل أن تطلب منه الاحترام. والثالثة هو أن تعلمه بدل أن تلوم الطفل. والرابعة هو أن يتدرب على الانضباط بدل التحفيز. والخامسة هو أن تعطيه مسؤولية أكثر مما تعطيه مساعدة. فنجي الآن إلى الأمور ال6 اللي ردنا يعني النقطة الثالثة من المحاضرة السابقة اللي هي نتعلم أولادك. هذه اللي هي راح نختصرها، قلت عن تقريبا أكو 23 إلى 25 شيء تقدر تعلم أولادك، وأنا أضمن أنه تغير مسار حياتهم، تغير نظرته إلى الحياة وشلون يتعامل مع المشاكل داخل الحياة. فمثل ما قلنا أول شيء تخص الأفكار. من الضروري جدا تثقيف الأبناء على الانتباه للأشياء اللي تغذي أفكارهم. يعني إحنا هسه الآن أكثر شيء يغذي الأفكار the things that are feeding your minds. We have YouTube, we have TikTok, we have social media, we have friends, we have information from Google. All of these things will feed your mind. So you have to pay attention to the resources that you're using to feed your mind. So بالبداية احنا كأب أو كأم شلون نتعلم، شلون نصفي هاي الأفكار. قلنا أول شيء يتعلق بالأفكار. اللي نريد نسويه احنا نريد ننتبه انه نصفي and filter out these thoughts before agreeing with them, before accepting them to the belief system. The idea is بالبداية احنا ناخذ الأفكار، بعدين هاي الأفكار نضيف عليها مشاعر، نصدق بيها، نؤمن بيها، بعدين تتحول إلى الاعتقاد والبelief system. لذلك من المهم جدا الانتباه للأفكار قبل لا توصل للبليف سيستم بالنسبة للأطفال. شلون نسوي هذا الشيء؟ شلون نحاول نصفي أفكار الأولاد؟ أولا إنه نخلي for example parental control بالنسبة للموبايلات أو بالنسبة للكمبيوترز. هذا فالشيء على الأقل يحد من التوكسيسيتي اللي موجودة بالسوشيال ميديا باليوتيوب. هذا يحد أو يقلل من عدها، لأن نسبة الأشياء اللي هي inappropriate content، الشغلات الغير ملائمة بالإنترنت is 70 to 75% of internet traffics has inappropriate content. So we have to clear that out. We have to pay attention to that. الشغلة الأخرى قدر الإمكان أنه تبعد أبنائك عن أصدقاء السوء، ومو شرط أصدقاء السوء. مرات نحتاج أن نبعد أبنائنا عن مثلا الثقافة الكندية، مو شرط هم أبناء سوء، لكن الثقافة مالتهم تختلف عن ثقافتنا وتختلف عن الثقافة الإسلامية والثقافة اللي إحنا متعارف عليها. فمن الضروري جدا، لذلك أنا أذكر أكثر من مرة، من الضروري جدا أنه نخلي الأولاد والأطفالنا وأبنائنا عندهم نفس الأصدقاء. يعني لما أنا ابني يكون مع ابنك وابن الناس اللي نعرفهم، الكالتشر ما راح تتغير، راح تبقى نفس الكالتشر، راح يسوون يعني يؤمنون بنفس البيئة. بس إذا تعرض إذا صار مثلا الأصدقاء المقربين صاروا مثلا من الكالتشر الكندي أو الكالتشر اللي إحنا ما نؤمن به، هذا راح يأثر على أفكاره بطريقة أو بأخرى. Now I would like to talk to you guys for the how to pay attention to the thoughts, the things that are feeding your mind. See, we have food poisoning. We have sometimes when we eat something that we don't want to eat or something that's unhealthy, what's happening is we're going to have food poisoning, right? So people will start to throw up, will have diarrhea to get rid of these unhealthy food, right? That's the way we deal with it. But the problem with the thoughts, when we have poisons in our thoughts, it's different from food poisoning. Thought poisoning is different. Why is that? Because when we have our thoughts, we're going to add emotions to it. So it's going to go to the belief system. So it's very important to pay attention to the way you feed your mind. You pay attention to the content that you're watching on YouTube, on TikTok, on social media, Google, thoughts from your friends, even from your family members when you talk to other people, talking about their opinions. It's very important to filter out these thoughts. You have to filter these thoughts out before you're agreeing with them. So that's very important. To protect yourself from the thought poisoning. Does that make sense, right? So we have food poisoning when we eat unhealthy food. We have thought poisoning when we have unhealthy thoughts. Be careful, don't believe everything you read, because sometimes on Google, on social media, they're talking about opinions. They're not talking about scientific facts. They're talking about opinions. And that can be very dangerous. So we have to filter those thoughts and agree only on things that make sense to our culture, make sense to our belief system. And if you have any hesitation or if you feel like things are not making sense to you, don't hesitate to ask. But you have to ask people who actually, who can you trust. Otherwise, you're going to have that thought poisoning, as I mentioned before. That's the first part, which is we have to pay attention to our thoughts. The second part, we have to teach our children. لازم نعلم الأولاد أكو هدف ومبدأ سامي اللي هو من أسمى الأهداف اللي هو فائدة الناس. يعني اللي هو مو فقط تفيد الناس، هذا راح تنقي النفس مالت الطفل. مثلا لما تنطي لابنك $1 مثلا، يعطيه الواحد هوملس مثلا، هذا صح الهوملس مثلا راح يستفاد $1 واحد، لكن بصورة عامة النقطة الثانية مثل ما قلت we have to teach our children إنه فائدة الناس. أول شيء pay attention to the thoughts. Second, we teach them that the main purpose or the most important aspect of life purpose is to help people. And if you want to succeed in life, you have to do that through helping people. As I mentioned about the homeless people, when we give a person just فنرجع مرة أخرى للنقطة الثانية. قلنا أول شيء أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. المهم، فشنو فائدة الناس؟ أولاً تزود الثقة مع الطفل بنفسه. الشغلة الثانية تزود هرمون الأكسيتوسين، تخلي الطفل أو الشاب يعتز بنفسه، تخلي عنده connection, social connection with other people. ولذلك من الضروري جدا أن تفهم الطفل أنه هذا من أهم المبادئ بالحياة، أنه كل شيء تسويه حاول من خلال أنه تفيد شخص آخر. الشغلة الأخرى، الشغلة الثالثة، قلنا أول شيء الأفكار، ثانيا هي البيهيفيرز، الثالثة هو أنه السيطرة على الذات. من المهم جدا أنه يتعلم الأطفال والشباب أنه الغضب هي علامة الضعف، مو علامة القوة. When you're angry, it's a sign of weakness, right? When you're angry, doesn't show that you're actually powerful or you're strong or you're confident. Anger is a sign of weakness and a sign of low confidence. So every time you get angry about something, number one, your wisdom will go down to zero. You cannot decide any good decision with anger. So you always have to pay attention to the anger and never decide any important decisions while you're angry. Now, what to do if you get angry? There are so many things that can make you frustrated. So what can you do to deal with that? Well, there are a few steps that you can do to help with the anger, to manage your anger. You don't have to be just to hold it and you kind of put that pressure on yourself. There are steps that you can do to manage the anger in a healthy way. I call it PDF. I'm sure it's very common to know what the PDF means, right? It's a file. We have that on computers. P for pause. Whenever you get angry, the first step is to pause. Just put that order to yourself. Ask yourself to pause first before doing anything. Because if you do anything while you're angry, You're going to lose control, and you're not going to have a good decision, and you're going to affect your wisdom. Why would you do that then? First of all, just pause. And then remember PDF. D for take deep breath. That deep breath will give you nutrition, give you oxygen to your brain. And that will allow you to at least think before you act. Before, again, when you're angry, you're gonna act without thinking. That helps you kind of filter the anger actions, and then you're gonna be able to have some sort of wisdom or judgment about the behaviors. And F, find solutions. So P, pause. D, take deep breath. And F, find solutions. Clear? So these are the 3 steps. Every time you get angry, try to remember that, try to practice that. Pause, deep breath, and find solutions. Now, sometimes it's very hard to find solutions. Sometimes it's so much easier if you just forgive and forget. So F could be also forgive and forget. That's also a solution. Now, sometimes things are extremely hard to find solutions, like absolutely there is no solution. In that case, the first and the best solution will be to accept it as part of life. Even if things are not going your way, it's okay. That's life. We have to accept that fact about life, that things are not going your way and should be okay with that. Okay? All right. So that's the 3rd step. So number 1, again, thoughts. Pay attention to the way you feed your thoughts. 2nd, you have to have a life purpose, and you have to have that purpose through helping people. 3rd, pay attention to your behaviors and pay attention to control yourself and control your anger. How do you do that? Again, PDF. That gives you self-control. Now, as I said, we all have problems, and we need to find what is the best way to deal with the problem. So there is actually a scientific way that can help you solve any problem. Okay? Now, how do you solve a problem? Let's say if you have a problem in school, or you have issues with someone, or maybe you get bullied at school, or you have a problem with financial problem. How do you deal with these issues? There is a scientific way you deal with it. I talk to hundreds of kids. They don't know how to solve the problem. They get confused about what to do next, and they think about the problem. However, though, every time you have a problem, try to always recognize the problem, but think about solutions. If you think about the problem, what do you think will be the result of that? Thinking about the problem will lead to anxiety, depression, being stressed, you're not able to sleep. Why? Because you're thinking about the problem without having any solutions. But if you just think about that, you recognize the problem, you say, well, I can see there is a problem here, and then you switch your thinking and your action toward how to find solutions to solve that problem, right? So now, what are the steps to deal with a problem, with any problem? Number 1, you recognize the problem. You say that that's a problem. 2nd, you write down all possible solutions for the problem. You write them down. You don't just think about them, because thoughts will disappear, will vanish in 1 hour if you don't write them down. Sometimes you have bright ideas, and when you have them, you have to write them down, otherwise they will disappear. So, as I said, write down all possible solutions and try with the first solution, 2nd, 3rd, till you find the best, the most appropriate solutions. If there is no solution, then what is the last solutions? It's the acceptance. You just accept it as part of life. And that acceptance will change the problem, will change your perception about the problem. When you have something, let's say if I have diabetes, for example, it's an illness. I have to receive insulin. I have to go to check my blood. I have kids actually who have diabetes, and they have to check their blood sugar. They have to get poked like every week or every day sometimes. How do they deal with that? They will have two options: either to have diabetes with suffering and pain, psychological pain, or to have diabetes, to manage it, and to have acceptance. You see the difference now between acceptance and having a problem? If you have the problem with acceptance, it's going to be just a problem. But when you have a problem and you don't accept it, you're going to suffer for a very long time because there is psychological pain with the actual problem. But acceptance it's a sort of healing process. When you accept things, you don't actually stress yourself about it. It's going to be just the problem itself, and you can manage it. You can minimize it. You don't have to resist it. You don't have to fight it. Sometimes just time alone can solve the problem. Sometimes just simple things can minimize the problem. Always think about solutions. That's my main message. Always, whenever you have a problem, first, you have to see the problem. Second, you have to think about the possible solutions for that problem. And if we have, let's say, I wish we have a kind of program so we can apply that in actually examples, how to use that, how to practice that in a practical way. So I'm happy if you guys can think about any problems that you think there is no solution with that. We can address that step by step, and I can show you like how every problem, whatever the problem is, you can address it in a healthy way, and you can find either to minimize it or to solve it, most likely. And very rarely, if there is absolutely no solution, then you accept it. And that makes your life so much easier. I have people struggling to solve a problem or to accept the problem for years. And they cannot sleep, they cannot do anything because they have a problem and they're struggling to accept it. Just accepting the problem can solve a big part of it. That's the fourth part that we need to teach our kids. Again, I'm focusing on those things because I see it in real life with people, and I wish I can help the other people that I'm seeing with. They have problem with their thoughts, the way they feed their thoughts. They have problem, they try, for example, how to make $1 million in 1 month. How, those videos on YouTube and TikTok, they make the kind of connect the happiness to just how to be successful on YouTube, how to be successful on getting that sort of job. It's not like that. There is no success without that link with helping people. Regardless, Amazon, Facebook, they're providing a service. There is no way you can be successful without providing a service to help people. Very important to always think about helping people. And through that, you can be very successful. And the fourth part, as I said, I keep repeating that, problem solving. Think about how to solve the problem. Don't think about the problem itself. The fifth part, the fifth point that we need to teach our kids about is, again, we have to teach them to accept not just the problem. We need to teach our kids to accept themselves. Even if you're not perfect, even if you think you have a problem, let's say if you have whatever, you have problem in your eyes, you have problem, whatever, you get bullied about something, it's okay. Accept it. You have to accept yourself first. Second, you have to accept your family. Even if your family has a different background, has a different cultural things or different religion, it's okay. You have to accept yourself, accept your family, accept your belief and culture. That's very important to boost your confidence. If you don't accept yourself, if you don't accept your culture or family, or you feel bad that you have this or that, this will affect your confidence. and it will show on your face, it will show on your behaviors. Always think about that. Always accept what you have. Think about what you have. Don't think about what you're missing. Most people, 90% of people, think about what they're missing. We need to think about what we have and embrace that, and how to use that tool that we have, the good thing that we have, to be successful, to be the best version of ourselves, right? So we don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. But if we use the tools that we have, this will make us extremely successful. And again, how can we be successful? Through that, providing a service to help other people. This will help you. This will make you. I gave you an example about giving $1 to homeless people. You feel like it doesn't make any big difference to that homeless person, but it actually affects you. It gives you satisfaction about yourself, because you feel like you're doing something. Even when you give like a homeless, like probably an apple or $1. What's the benefit of that? It doesn't affect them much, but for you, you feel good. Why? Because that feeds you're gonna tell yourself the self-talk. You're gonna say like, I'm a good person. Next time when you find something, probably $100 on the floor, you're not gonna take it probably. You're gonna say like, I'm a good person. I help other people. So why would I do that? So that gives you that boost in self-image and self-esteem. So helping others is always a good goal for your happiness. So as I said, acceptance also, it's part of healing. Like if you think about acceptance, there are so many examples. Hopefully one day we're gonna have more time to explain more about acceptance. It actually affects your blood pressure, affects your health, general health. It makes you so much happier, more calm. It makes you have what's called internal peace. Otherwise, if you don't have that acceptance, if you resist things in your life, you're gonna have suffering in your life. When you resist things, let's say, for example, let's say, I would say, why do I have this problem other than other people? Why am I the only one who has this problem? Why is that? Because you're not accepting it. Whenever you accept it, get ready for healing, for having internal peace. That's very, very important. Acceptance. Even if things are not going your way, accept it. Think about things that you really don't like in your life. Think about them for a moment and see what's the difference when you accept them and you try your best to think about what you have. It makes your life so much easier, and you're going to be the best version of yourself that way. Don't resist things that they're not going your way in your life. Now, the sixth part, which is the last part of the 6 things that we need to teach our kids, which I will guarantee they can change their life, or at least the perception about life. 6 is to have a future plan, right? Now, I see those things when in the clinic. I ask hundreds of kids. When I ask them about what's your future plan, they don't have one, which makes them exactly like someone who's walking the street. Imagine you find someone and you tell them, okay, where are you going? And that person will say, I don't know. It's like you feel like, what's wrong with this person? Is he lost or something? So when you don't know where you're going, this means you're kind of lost in life. You need to know where you're going by having a future plan. Now, how can we have that future plan? What to do to build that future plan? Always think about 3 numbers. 3 numbers. We have 5, 6, 7. Very easy to remember. 5, 6, 7. We need to have a plan for 5 years. What do you want to do in 5 years? What do you want to be in 5 years? That's 5. 6, that's 6 months. What do you want to do in 6 months? so you can be that person in 5 years. Like right now, I know you guys probably around 13, 12, maybe 11 years old. In 5 years, you guys are going to be almost an adult, right? So you're going to be 18 years old. You're going to be 17 years old. Your way of thinking will be completely different from right now. 5 years from now, five years ago, you were 8 years old. Right now, you're 13 or 14. 5 years from now, you're going to be an adult. So you have to have an idea about what do you want to do in 5 years. And for example, you want to do, I hear kids talking about being a YouTuber or having a business or doing something like a future plan. You can do whatever you want. You can dream about whatever you like, but you have to do it one step at a time. You cannot wake up next day achieving that dream, being that successful. You have to build yourself with skills that makes you able to get there. So 5 years and then 6 months plan. And remember when I said 3 numbers? We have 5, 6, 7. 7 is 7 days. Every week you have to have something to add to your skills. You like playing soccer? It's great. Just get new moves. Maybe you need to do something different. You like to play basketball? Just add more skills to your life. That's what makes you more successful. So it's very important to think about that 5, 6, 7 future plan. And the other part also, I have so many kids who think about doing something, but they don't do it. Why? Because they have thoughts without actions. Again, thoughts without actions are useless. So we need to do actions. How to do that? Always remember there's what's called 3 Ds. Number 1, we have decision. Second D is discipline. And third D is deadlines. 3 Ds. To achieve anything you want, to do any decision, you have 3 Ds. 3 strong Ds. Number 1, you need to take strong decision. Number 2, strong discipline, which means when you decide to do something, you do it, whether you like it or not. You don't have to like things to do it. We do things because we need to do them, whether I like them or not. Very important. Strong decision. Just say, for example, if you have, for example, 10 assignments you want to finish this weekend. You have homework, right? You want to finish 10 assignments. It's up to you whether you're going to procrastinate and it takes you forever to finish 1 assignment and then just the last moment you finish the 9 assignments. Or when you take strong decision, just say, I will do this assignment. Each assignment will take me 15 minutes. That's a discipline. And don't expect that you're going to like it. It's okay. You do it because you need to do it, not because you like to do it. And then you put deadlines. Strong decision, strong discipline, and strong deadlines. You don't pass that deadline. And that makes you successful faster than other kids. And it will give you more time to have fun. Because you cannot have fun and you have 10 homeworks that you need to be done with. So, but when you have strong decision, you'll be able to actually complete your assignments, complete what you need to do, and you're going to have extra time to have fun. Because I don't think you're going to have fun if you have stuff to do. So, very, very important to think about those 6 things. There are so many other things, but these are things that can change the mind. They change the way they think, kids can think. And again, one more time, let me repeat them quickly. So we need to filter our thoughts. That's 1. Second, we need to think about helping others as a way of success. And we have to succeed with other people. That's 2nd. Third, we need to have control on our thoughts and behaviors. We cannot just show that anger to whenever anything frustrates us. So we have to some sort of self-control. And controlling yourself is a very powerful skill to have, because whenever you control yourself, you can control so many other things in your life. Fourth, you need to be able to know how to solve a problem, because as I said, I see hundreds of kids. They have problem, can be solved easily. Like when they talk to me about their problems, I can solve it so easy. I just write it down and give them that idea about what to do. And then when they look at the problem, really, it was a very simple thing. But they were spending so much time thinking about the problem, not the solution. So, solving the problem. The fifth one will be acceptance. Accept things, accept yourself, accept your culture, accept your things that you don't like about yourself, you don't like about your culture or family. It's okay, accept them and embrace what you have. So focus on what you have. And the sixth one, always have a future plan. That future plan will make you enjoy every single day of your life, because you're gonna feel like you're actually living life. Things are moving. Otherwise, you feel like you're stuck in your age, things are not moving, you're gonna feel bored easily, and you're gonna feel get frustrated easily if you don't have like a future plan. These are the main 6 things. If you guys have any question, if you have any problems that you think cannot be solved, or any different situation if we can discuss right now, let me know. واللي عنده سؤال أنا أتشرف به، وشكرا جزيلا للحضور الكرام. تفضل أبو هادي. Yeah. So I gave you example that I see. It's very common. Probably it's funny. One of the most common problems I see, kids having trouble cleaning their room. That's one. Disrespectful communication with their parents. That's very common. And missing assignments. Hundreds of kids, they have missing assignments, and they don't finish, they procrastinate till the last moment. So, for example, like I talked about the one with missing assignments. They need 3 Ds. Number 1, strong decision. Second is discipline, and third is deadlines. For example, cleaning the room. You cannot imagine how many kids are coming to me with this main problem. Most kids I see, it's not like cases of severe developmental problem. These problem will actually lead to significant impairment in their daily functioning, because simple things can make their life so disturbed. For example, cleaning the room, I tell them that just schedule, for example, recognize the problem. Because what's happening, number 1, they have that, the parents will tell the kid to clean the room. The kids will resist that. They don't do it because they're playing Fortnite or playing on PlayStation, right? And that will create another problem. But the main idea, the main problem is the kids don't want to clean their room because they don't feel like it, right? Again, we go back. Number 1, we don't do things that we feel we like. We do things that we need to do. Second, we schedule 2 minutes or 3 minutes every day, a specific time, to clean the room. Just giving you an example. And for example, to listen anything specific that they like to listen to. So I will ask them, what do you like? What do you prefer to listen to in general? And sometimes people have Alexa, they have Google, and they will listen to that particular thing while cleaning the room. And definitely we work on the respect with parents, because usually there's not one problem, there is many problems. Problem with the tone of voice from kids to their parents, problem with cleaning the room, problem with the discipline and doing things that they don't like. If there are sometimes, for example, financial problems, I see sometimes people struggle with that. again, when we do that, kind of analyze the problem, first they have to minimize their spending because they spend so much more than what they earn. So, and also we think about what are the its options. What are the options to increase your job, for example? Can you work another job? So we explore the options that they can do to solve the problem. For the assignment, as I said, like needs time management. Yeah, so I don't know that.
Anything related to probably nowadays kids have, they spend lots of time on the screens and the connected devices.
Yeah.
From your experience, is there anything particular you would like to talk about or warn parents about that is, worth to share with us?
Yeah. That's also a very, very common problem, excessive screen time. I was thinking about actually giving a detailed lecture for 1 hour about that part because internet addiction is actually, that's, if you're interested, we can do that lecture. It has so much more than screen time. Screen time is not always a bad thing. It's actually, sometimes it's very helpful. We have lists of things that are actually very helpful. For example, social communication. It will improve social skills. It will increase the oxytocin level, and that makes kids more social, would develop their social skills. Kids between 8 and 18, usually they have poor social skills, and that's okay because they're transitioning between childhood and adulthood. So they need to develop social skill. That's one. Talking to strangers, though, it's a dangerous behavior. Access to educations, for example, getting information, that's helpful. Access to inappropriate websites, that's a problem. Now, when we think about inappropriate websites, I'm talking about 70 to 75% of all internet traffics has inappropriate content. 70 to 75%, I can show you the study, has inappropriate content. So that the kids don't mean it. It will show in front of them that they have these inappropriate contents. And they have to make sure to that's why your job is to protect them from that by doing the parental control, remove that access. You know what's the first age that kids will expose to inappropriate content in the United States? It's 7 to 8 years old. Yeah, so that's very dangerous. They have to have, that's why parents' job is to protect their kids from these content. They don't do anything. They don't mean it. It just show up on their phone or on their computers. So that's very dangerous. Any behavior that can lead to addictive behavior on the screen, it's negative. We don't want to do that. But anything that increase for example, like social skills, sometimes listening to things. I have kids listening to music. I have sometimes kids listening to like Quran or listening to anything. It depends on the culture, of course. That will actually, it's therapeutic for them, for motivation, for listening to lectures. These are good things. The problem with the inappropriate websites, talking to strangers, and video games, addictive behaviors on video games. These are addictive, the most common addictive behaviors. Kids are, when I ask kids how many hours you spend on the screen, you know what's the average? Average is 7 hours, 20 minutes. That's the average in the United States. So it's very excessive. They're expecting in 2030 that kids with overweight, diabetes, will be almost double. So now it's around 30, 32. It's going to be 64 in 2030 because of the addictive apps like TikTok, video games, adding more things, very, very addictive. And the addiction from internet addiction is very similar to the addiction from substance use. Yeah, it's the same structural changes. Yep, not just the impact, the same structural changes in the brain tissue. Yeah, so there is actually structural changes. It's an addiction. So if they don't have that game, or if they feel like extremely frustrated and they don't feel comfortable, they can't sleep, they have symptoms. As I said, like there are very long list of symptoms, and there is the way we diagnose internet addiction as a form of just like other diagnoses. Yeah. Any other question? You guys have any question? Yeah. Yeah.
If any kid can explain what you said now, who comes to the top, I'll pay some token price for you. If any kid can explain. We want to know that how much they understand.
Yeah.